I'll start again. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Tara Barca. I'm the Academic Director of Online Business Programs here at CUNY School of Professional Studies. It is my honor to have you all here tonight. Just wanted to say hello and welcome, and just to kind of really recognize the amazing work that our MELO officers and members have done this semester. We've had quite a few successful events, and we're also going to be having a networking event, which I hope you will attend. That will be on May 11th, held via Zoom. And we're partnering with the Student Veterans Organization, and we're happy to collaborate with them on that networking event. Our host, Nina, will give you a bit more information, but stay tuned for more announcements from me on the Student Forum and on our LinkedIn page. And with that, without further ado, I'll turn it over to our esteemed host, Nina Medrano, who will be hosting tonight's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Barca. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to MELO's Entrepreneurial Ideation Fair, where people like you bring big business ideas to life. I'm your host, Nina Medrano, also known as Nina. I am the president of the Management and Entrepreneur Leadership Organization, also known as MELO. For those who are joining us for the first time or returning, we are super excited to have you here tonight. Tonight, we have 4 contestants willing to share their big ideas in a 3-minute pitch. Judges will critique each contestant using their judging rubric. Judges have the opportunity to ask additional questions if needed, and 3 winners will be announced at the end of the event. Is everybody excited? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's begin.
Yes.
You see my presentation, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So who we are, MELO allows students to learn and engage in entrepreneur thoughts for managing and starting a business. MELO also focuses on understanding management and the importance of effectively leading an organization. MELO allows the opportunity to interact with successful organization leaders and entrepreneurs and create long-lasting learning relationships. MELO is open to all undergrad and graduate students of CUNY SPS. Here are our MELO officers. I am the president, followed by our vice presidents, Daisy Reguero and Kelly Rafael. Kelly is also our interior president at the moment until I return next semester. Kelly has been doing a great job while I've been away, and MELO appreciates her. Lastly, Lina Leon is our social media coordinator. The more the merrier, I say, and MELO is always happy to continue growing their community. We have a few vacant MELO positions. We are looking for a chief information officer, a chief financial officer, and an event planner. Being part of MELO provides a great opportunity to gain valuable connection if networking or meeting other professionals. Plus, you are able to connect with faculty out of the general Blackboard and discussion board experience. Lastly, being part of MELO can be an additional skill to add to your resume, and you will have the support to get a great recommendation letter. So what more can you ask for? If you're interested, please email us. Now I will start introducing tonight's judges. Our first judge is Christian Washington, who holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration and a MBA from Boston College. His professional expertise ranges the gamut from personal and private wealth advertisement, academic professorship, and real estate development. In addition, he manages his own financial planning practice within the NYC area, given over a decade of experience within the financial services industry. Christian Washington is also capable of giving back to the community, engaging in civic duties, such as mentoring inner city children within New York's public school system, to providing community service to the needy and less privileged. Christian Washington has given many years of his life to achieving the goal of giving back to the community. In turn, he has spent countless hours mentoring and coaching students on entrepreneurships as both a college professor, and an entrepreneur in residence within the SUNY and CUNY academic system. This has further led to becoming both a judge and panelist in domestic and international entrepreneurship business competitions. Our next judge is Carlos Reniski, who is the academic program manager for the online business programs at CUNY School of Professional Studies. As an adjunct lecturer, he brings over 20 years of progressive marketing experience, working with both small, medium firms, as well as Fortune 500 companies such as Citi, Standard Chartered Bank, and McGraw-Hill. Among his specialty areas are marketing strategy, brand management, social media strategy, direct marketing, market research, and media planning. He has taught marketing at the college level since 2001 in such schools as DeVry Institute of Technology, LaGuardia Community College, Southern New Hampshire University, and CUNY SPS. In addition, he has taught courses in strategic management at the undergrad level. In 2003, he has chosen to teach in Baruch College, overseas executive MBA program in Hong Kong and Taiwan. Carlo holds a Bachelor's of Science from SUNY Albany and an MBA from NYU's Stern School of Business. He lives in Manhattan and is a past board member and VP Marketing at the Product Development and Management Association. And our last judge is Dr. Edwin Knox, who is the principal consultant and founder of ELK Consultant Company, a management and marketing consulting focusing on entrepreneur startups and small business developments. He has published research in nascent entrepreneurship, opportunity recognition, social networks, and market orientations, and entrepreneurship orientation with several publications on entrepreneurship in progress. He has presented papers to professional organizations and conferences and holds membership in several professional and academic organizations. Dr. Knox is an associate professor and academic director for online business degree programs at CUNY School of Professional Studies, where he develops and teaches leadership and entrepreneurship courses. Previously, he served as visiting assistant professor of entrepreneurship at the State University of New York at New Paltz. He was responsible for reviewing and enhancing the entrepreneurship academic concentration under the business administration curriculum. He was a visiting associate professor at the New York Institute of Technology Graduate School, teaching management and entrepreneurship courses. He served as an adjunct associate professor at Long Island University, teaching management and entrepreneurship courses in their MBA programs. Dr. Knox taught marketing at Medgar Evers College of the City and University of New York. He developed and facilitated marketing and entrepreneurship courses, initiated a Center for Entrepreneurship and Economic Development, and worked closely with the Small Business Center and Brooklyn International Trade Development Center. Furthermore, he served as a faculty observer for the New York City Regional Innovation I-Corp at the City University of New York, where participants were given experimental learning opportunities to determine the commercial readiness of their technology. He served as the vice chair of the United States Association of Small Businesses and Entrepreneurs, Minority and Women Entrepreneurship Special Interest Group. Dr. Knox holds a Bachelor's of Science in Business Management from Florida A&M University, a Master's of Tourism Administration focusing on sports and events management, and an MBA in Business Administration and Marketing from George Washington University, and also a PhD degree in Business Management Entrepreneurship from Morgan State University. This is the judging criteria that judges will be using for each contestant presenting tonight. Contestants' ideas, presentations will be judged in the following categories. Uniqueness. How is the idea better or different than the current products or services offered in the marketplace? Consumer value proportion. What consumer market or segments will the idea serve, and what specific value? Easier usage, cheaper, more convenient, raises one status, etc. Does that market or segment receive from the idea? Feasibility. Can it be produced based on reality available or foreseeable technology and resources? And lastly, profitability? Can the product be produced and sold at a profit? I wish the best of luck to all contestants. So we will start with our first contestant, who is Kelly Raphael, speaking about helping the homeless. Kelly, are you ready to present?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, good luck.
I've been with MELO from the beginning, and I've always been like, I have no ideas, so I cannot participate. This is the first semester I have an idea, so I'm very excited. I just need the ability to share.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, you should be good to go.
Okay, let's try that. 2. Okay, so everyone can see my screen, right?
We can.
Perfect. Okay, entrepreneur, see a problem, envision a solution, and work toward the goal of seeing your idea become a reality. Soraya's Arrow is a small business with a big idea. Homelessness is a huge problem. That goes without explanation. But did you know that some homelessness stems from those displaced from the foster care system? Yes, foster adults better have their acts together by age 18, or they may find themselves out on the streets. Charitable organizations also have a huge problem. Overhead expenses, such as million-dollar mortgages, building maintenance, etc. In addition to funding, these organizations need purpose. What if the government were to give funding to these organizations for the purpose of their assistance with the homeless crisis? What if they invested less in unjust prison systems and more into efforts to solve this problem? What if the government were to partner with charitable organizations? And what if a group of people who see the same problem with a mutual passion to solve the problem were to join you in your goal of seeing your idea become a reality? Let's see it. Soraya's Arrow would like to serve as a matchmaker, if you will, to partner charitable organizations with local and federal government agencies to help the homeless, the charitable organizations, and the government simultaneously. So, Soraya's Arrow is a small business with a big idea. Any questions?
Are the judges asking, or are we waiting? No.
I think it's for us, the judges. I was just waiting.
Okay, I'll wait.
In the past, what we've done, and I think maybe we should do this to ensure equity every semester, is that we didn't ask questions, but we gave feedback at the end after the judging decision had been made.
Great. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
1 second to reshare my PowerPoint. Thank you, Kelly, for sharing your 3-minute idea. Our second contestant is Elizabeth Teperino, speaking about a low-waste dry goods shipping service. Elizabeth, are you ready to present? You can unmute
Yeah, I'm ready to present. I have a presentation ready, so if I could just share, please.
Yes, no problem. Harsh.
In 1 second. I'm doing it right now. All right, you're good to go.
All right, give me 2 seconds, please. Okay. Can everyone see the presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So my presentation, my idea for the ideation fair was Pantry Full, which is a dried goods shipping service. So what is Pantry Full? Pantry Full is a low-waste dried goods shipping service which picks up clean and dry containers from customers, refills them with the customer's order, and then ships them back. This should help reduce the packaging waste that comes with purchasing dried goods and the burden of going grocery shopping for heavy items such as rice, beans, nuts, oats, pasta, and then having to refill the containers at home. So how does it work? Basically, the customers would put in their orders, pack their clean and dry containers, ship them to the warehouse. We would have drivers and trucks to pick them up, drop them off, and then at the warehouse, the orders would be fulfilled, and then the trucks will deliver the filled containers back to the customers. So who could this benefit? Firstly, people with limited mobility who would have a harder time leaving the home, and it would eliminate the process of carrying heavy packages of dried goods and having to refill their own pantry containers. Secondly, people with limited time, it would cut down on time spent in the grocery store. So instead of having to look for the rice and beans and dried goods aisle, you could just go straight to the fresh foods or whatever it is you need to buy. You don't need to worry about buying all these heavy items. Then third is people who don't own cars. So people who take public transportation or walk to the grocery store, it's obviously much easier, more convenient to just get these items shipped to your door in your own containers. And then fourth is the environment. So this obviously helps the environment because there's virtually zero packaging waste and low waste shipping and low carbon emissions. What kind of resources does this service require? So first is a dried goods storage warehouse where we would keep basically everything that we'd be shipping out, employees to fulfill the orders, and manage customer service. Then we would need trucks and drivers to both pick up and drop off the emptied and the full containers, and then a web page able to process a large volume of orders that wouldn't crash. Why is this a novel business? So this business does not exist yet. All the bulk dried food stores that currently exist, for example, Whole Foods has something similar. They require customers to come shop in person, and they're not very accessible or convenient to anyone that doesn't live in that neighborhood or town. So this would definitely be more accessible to people who don't live near a place like that. And then what is this growth potential? The more warehouses there are throughout the country means that more people can have access to this service. And because one warehouse can deliver orders within the state and maybe surrounding states, it wouldn't be feasible to have orders delivered across the country or something like that, because the farther they have to travel, the more time it'll take for a customer to receive their grocery order. So there is a huge growth potential because the more warehouses there are spread out throughout the country, service becomes faster and cheaper. And that's it. Thank you so much. Nina?
Thank you, Elizabeth. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to share my screen. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Elizabeth, for sharing. Our next contestant will be Sakia Dawson, speaking about a communal workplace. Sakia?
Yes, hi. I'll just share my screen once I'm able to.
Sure.
All right, you should be good to go.
Where is it? Oh, sorry, it's loading. Can you all see this? Okay, so hi guys, my name is Zakia Dunson, and mine is specific to a neighborhood. So my service is called Rockaway Overtime. So it's a service center for the community. So basically Starbucks without the coffee, where ambition goes to for overtime, okay? So pretty much, one of the major issues and what had me thinking about this service center is because I live in Far Rockaway and I was born, oops, sorry. Let me go back. Oh, it's going too fast. Excuse me, guys. Let me just go back for a minute. I live in Far Rockaway and I'm born and raised in Far Rockaway, and Far Rockaway is a peninsula and we're separated from everybody. So pretty much the name does it justice. Far Rockaway is far, okay? And we are separated from a lot of services in the Rockaways, and we have the 5th highest of all Queens neighborhoods of households and individuals with no broadband internet access at all. So imagine how difficult it is for adults and children during COVID, the last 3 years. And this information was found on the state website. So a little story time. Can I borrow? Growing up in the Rockaways, we were lucky enough to have a parent who could afford one, encyclopedias before the internet and computers. Please don't judge me. Yes, I'm of that age. And they would come over to my house, borrow the encyclopedia, bring it back. Or once we got computers, we had neighbors who would come and classmates and friends who would come borrow our computer or use our printer. So we didn't have the normal sleepovers. Our sleepovers were usually people trying to finish assignments. And so they spent the night working on it on our computer. So it got me thinking. Now, as an adult with a family of my own, I noticed that again during COVID-19. The pandemic really showed the digital divide. We have neighbors, and now they're working people who also came to our house, asked about the Wi-Fi, asked if they were, if we could print out something for them because the libraries were closed. And to segue that into libraries being closed, let's move to the next slide. The libraries in Far Rockaway only stay open till 6 p.m. 89% of the residents commute at least 50 minutes to work. So if you're working the typical 9 to 5, you cannot make it home in time to use the library for a quiet space. I am also an academic advisor, and during the pandemic, I normally tell my students, hey, just find, you got to study. You got to find a quiet place to study. You have to organize yourself. For documentation, why don't you print it out, paste it up where you could see it normally? And I got a question from one of my students that said, how? And that really got me thinking. If the libraries are closed when they get home from work or when their parents get home from work, how and where will they be able to use these services, especially in the Rockaways? So Now we have overtime. So overtime will be a service for downtown, particularly downtown Far Rockaway. Our hours would be around the time the library is closed. So we're looking at 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Friday, Saturdays 6 to 8, Sundays 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we're looking for funding, government funding and private funding to house this. And it will be sort of like an office building. So picture Starbucks without the coffee, libraries without books. So a private space where you could go and study without, maybe you have children at home running around screaming, mommy, daddy, mommy, daddy. We've all seen those Zoom videos with the children in the background or the wife walking naked behind them. Like there's no space, especially in New York City. We are crunched for space and quiet space. I actually had a student say, oh yeah, I do have a space. I study in my closet. So this would allow them a private area, safe area where they can go to study. I will be outreaching to teens 14 to 17 with parents' permission and 18 and up. So in Far Rockaway, we do have libraries, but a lot of them cater to younger children. So basically, if you're above the 6th grade, you can't really gain much information from going inside of those libraries. So if you want to use our computers, our printers, our copiers, our office supplies, you need to staple something, you need to copy something, you can come in and do that. For people who can afford it, we will ask for modest payments. And for people who are living below the poverty level, we will have vouchers to assist them with, I need to admit somebody, or do you have ability? No,
I got it.
okay,
Sophia.
thank you. I wasn't sure if I'm the host. For people who are living below the poverty level, they will have vouchers which they can use. So basically, they will have access to common space, which is kind of like an open area that has various desks and chairs, but everyone will use that area. And you will have access to a private space. All rooms have to be reserved in advance. So it's not really where anybody off the street can walk in. And of course, if they do something to damage our equipment, their access will be revoked. Our rooms will also be equipped with video cameras, projectors, speakers, green screens. For people that also, I have people that come to my house sometimes if they have to do a Zoom interview, right? That's the way businesses are running interviews nowadays. And if you don't have a quiet space or area to do an interview, which is dire need for a lot of people who are looking for employment, you can come there, rent a room, and have the interview there. Also, my special fees, again, NYCHA residents will be able to use the space up to 3 hours free a week, and common space will be half off. We will also have payment, electronic payment only. We do not want to house cash in our space just to limit theft. It will be a modest fee of $5 and up to use the services, and is available upon request and if room is available for it. Of course, if we get bigger and better, we could expand our access to the services. Lastly, it is important for this kind of access to services, to technology, for a center like this to especially be in places like the Rockaways, because access to technology bridges the digital divide. We've seen that for the past 3 years. It increases patrons' educational and job opportunities. It provides a study space and creates a safe environment for people to learn, and not only learn, to work from home without distractions. And it is also allows you to access supplies and help patrons organize and coordinate their work. Overtime will be a center of equity, stability, and structure that supplies the community of Far Rockaway with the tools to effectively and efficiently achieve their goals. Thank you. All pictures were from a Google search. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sakia. Thank you for sharing. So our last presenter, who was our third presenter, is give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Everything is like coming out. It's Penelope Rodriguez. I'm speaking about Spectrum Services. Penelope?
Hi, good evening, you guys. I don't have all of the fancy graphics that you guys had.
It's okay.
But I do have an awesome pitch, and here I go. Good evening, everyone. My name is Penelope Rodriguez, and I am here today to tell you about Spectrum Resources, a nonprofit corporation that aims to help parents of children within the autism spectrum to access evaluations and services. As you may know, autism is a global issue that affects millions of people worldwide. In the United States alone, 1 in 54 children are diagnosed with autism, and this number is increasing every year. Unfortunately, many parents of children with autism struggle to find the resources and support they need to help their children. That's where Spectrum Resources comes in. Our mission at Spectrum Resources is to advocate for solutions that address the needs of people with autism and their families at all stages of life and across the autism spectrum. We achieve this by providing a comprehensive guide for parents to access evaluations and services, promoting early childhood screening and prompt intervention, as well as providing advocacy and mental health support for parents of children in the spectrum. What makes Spectrum Resources unique is that we bring together all of the resources available for parents and individuals within the autism spectrum and make it easier for parents to find the help they need. Our goal is to help families navigate the complex and often overwhelming process of finding the resources and support that they need for their children to thrive. I personally know this as I have a child with autism. To accomplish our mission, we will need your support. We are looking for volunteers who can help with various tasks, such as fundraising, outreach, and program development. We also need funding to support our operations and pay for staff and resources. Additionally, we are looking for partnerships with other organizations that provide related services to expand our reach and impact. The potential for growth and impact for Spectrum Resources is significant as more families become aware of the services provided by the organization. Our reach and impact will continue to grow. Moreover, as more research is conducted on autism and new interventions and services become available, we can expand our offerings and help more families access these resources. To live in a world in which everyone with autism has access to the resources they need to achieve their full potential is our ultimate goal. Join me in making a difference in the lives of families and individuals in the autism spectrum. Thank you.
Thank you, Penelope, for sharing your idea.
Thank you.
Now the judges will go to a break room to discuss, and momentarily we'll announce the 3 winners. As they discuss, I will go over the prizes and upcoming event reminder. But before they go to the break rooms, do the judges have any questions?
Yeah, these questions geared toward the contestants before we deliberate.
Okay, sure.
All right. I want to go through the different panelists, contestants, excuse me, before we deliberate. For the first contestant in regards to the business, I wasn't too sure on the business model, specifically more information about profitability, pricing, cost, things pertaining to that. Just trying to clarify the those aspects a little more clearly?
I wish I could help you with that. I just, the idea didn't really approach that as of yet. It's just an idea of that I need to do a lot more research on the idea that I have, for sure.
Okay. All right. And for contestant 2, in regards to the packaging, you had mentioned about sustainability, but then you also mentioned about shipping. So is it like a drop shipping thing, or is it sort of like a fulfillment, or is it sort of like how you have a company like, I can't remember their name, but they come and they will actually pick up it from you, drop it off to your house directly. I just want to clarify before I expand on my question there.
So the idea is basically that we would have a warehouse with all of the, let's say, like bulk, probably barrels of rice and beans and all sorts of like dried goods that we'd have on the website. And we would have the customers order and then package their own containers. So their own clean and dry containers, could be plastic, could be whatever they have that they use in their pantry. They would, we would have like drivers come and pick them up, drop them off at the warehouse. Then the orders would be fulfilled at the warehouse. Then they would be dropped off back at the customer's home.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Reminds me sort of like the old school milkman dropping off the
Sort
bottles.
of.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
okay. And I was curious about cost or savings or the value there. A lot of people buy bulk because it's cost effective. From a marketing standpoint, do you think that your prices would be like you use Whole Foods, for example, or other places that do bulk? Would the prices be akin to retail, or are you looking to do something more like, you know, when you go online, sometimes they have subscription models there, you pay a fee to do a certain volume is cheaper, more in like a Costco wholesale type of load, or what is your, have you done any pricing or things of that sort, cost structure in your idea?
Well, I do know that if, like you said, if they would order more, so let's say 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, as it increases, of course, it would be cheaper, but it would have to fit in their container. So whatever they purchase, let's say 1 pound of something, they have to have a container big enough for that. However, I also want to stress the importance of how people nowadays are very interested in going green. And so this is another way to do that. But apart from that, it is a service. So it also serves people who can't get out of their house to shop for these things, or can get out of the house, but you know, they have these heavy items that they may or may not be able to carry, or it would just be easier for them to have the service, drop it off at their house. So it does benefit a few people, a few different kinds of people. And of course, it wouldn't be as cheap as going in person, but of course, like you would pay for the shipping and everything, but the prices would be definitely affordable.
Okay. I think Ed has a question. He has a hand up.
Yes, I
First there
saw
was
the hand.
Carlos, yeah.
Yeah, Carlos, I saw his hand up first. Thank
Yeah.
you, Dr. Knox.
Thank you. I was originally going to ask this question of contestant number 2, the pantry full, I think, but maybe it applies to everybody, and perhaps we can get a short comment from each contestant. But first one, Elizabeth, for your business, have you thought about, in terms of uniqueness, how to differentiate yourself so as to fend off potential competition from the obvious Amazon and whatnot?
Well, it would be the only business of its kind, as far as I've researched. There are places where you can go, like for example, Whole Foods. There are other like bulk places where you can go and buy, and you bring your own container the same way. You bring your own container, you fill it up, and then they just charge you for whatever you buy. This would be basically the same thing, but instead of going to the place, you would ship your containers to them and then get them shipped back to you. So that would be kind of like the differentiating aspect of it. So it is like something that doesn't exist as of now.
Others?
I do have more questions for the rest of the contestants, but I'll let everyone else first.
I would just say, I haven't heard of any such business, based on my idea. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because, like a lot of times, like people, they come up with an idea for a new gadget, and then when they try to trademark it, they find out it exists. But I haven't heard of such a business.
For me, I did do some research on study, kind of a service study space, but the only thing I found was service in Far Rockaway was, when I looked up services, were car maintenance services, the library, and the whole idea, and I saw in the chat someone mentioned, like, can we get the government to extend the hours? That is great, but also they like to extend it for all. And my idea is to get away from the younger children being there as a distraction as well, to gear it towards more of the teen adult population, to give them a space. I know a lot of times, especially in the Rockaway area, they like to cater to the children, but after you reach a certain age, what is there to do? So just to give them a space of their own, which is where my idea came about.
Great, thank you.
I believe that the mission of my nonprofit is what sets my nonprofit apart. There's not a lot of nonprofits out there that have the resources, except for like Autism Speak, and that's on a limited basis. So I think that focusing on the nonprofit's mission and creating different approaches will help me, will help set the business apart from others.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, I actually had a question for Elizabeth, actually. And some of I'm satisfied in your responses to the other judges, but I was just wondering about the whole container issue. It seems to be driving the pickup drop off. Have you thought about maybe shipping in quantity, where someone just, let's say my jug is a 2-ounce jug or a 1-pound jug, so you can cut out the sort of back and forth in a system, that maybe there's some way of putting it in a durable shipping container directly, like maybe in a sack, little small sack bags, or something to that. Was that a consideration?
Well, of course, I thought about that part of it. I thought if they order, let's say, a pound of something, you can put it in something, let's say something like a biodegradable bag, but there aren't any that have been used for this sort of purpose. So the safest option, and I think the best option, would be to use like your own containers that you have at home, just because, first of all, it's going to come pre-filled for you, and second of all, it's going to cut out any type of like packaging that you'd need. Like, for example, even if you do use biodegradable, you'd have to pay for those as well. You'd have to find them, source them, make sure that they're safe for food use. And so I thought, yes, I did think of that to answer your question, but I still settled on my idea. I thought this was the best idea.
Okay.
The best way to do it.
The best way to do it. Okay. And then let me go over to Penelope. When you think about autism, I'm wondering about the scalability. Can your model work? I commend you because you mentioned this data and how large this population is. Is that something you believe can be replicated, or is it part of something your company would do, is looking to have it broaden into other places? Or is that just something special about the communities that you are associated with?
Well, I would love to start in New York City. From my research, it said that low-income communities and brown people are the most affected by autism. So I would love to help them get the help that they need for their children. And as the company grows and gets exposure, I would love to grow nationwide. And make it as simple as a website. You put in your state and then a list of your local evaluation, your local occupational therapist, if you need one, speech therapist and ABA therapist will show in a list in your community. And that's what we are going towards. But I would love to start in New York City first.
One not recommendation, I guess I'll put that later, is to look at the healthcare model, because insurance and shared costs is a smart thing. And then Zakia? Am I pronouncing that right? I don't want to miss.
Yes, Zakia.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting there, but I'm just curious. I see your model. I understand where you're going, but could the replication of broadband be a simple issue for of a larger corporation to just come in and decide that they're going to put broadband there?
Yeah, it could solve one issue. That is just access to the Wi-Fi, to the internet. It does not solve the issue of the distractions inside of your house or the limited space that a majority of people living in New York City have. For example, my student had Wi-Fi internet access, but she was studying in her closet. So it's not only about the access to the internet, it's also access to a private space.
Okay, all right. And Kelly, this is my last question. I'm curious, when you're talking about foster care, and how does that differ than what the city is doing? I don't know if I heard you.
Well, people are falling through the cracks, obviously, because I know actually, and I can even put it into the chat, an article about someone who aged out of the foster care system and ended up on the streets. It's the paper is the Colombian, and and I know it from experience, because I remember I was watching something on the news, and there was this kid, and he had somebody at his school, and he said, "Will you please adopt me? Because I'm about to," and it was such a sad story, and it's so funny because they interviewed the woman. She was just somebody who worked at the school, and she said, she adopted him because she felt really bad. And he was like, but the sad part about it, it's a happy ending, but the sad part, he was like, "I'll do this, I won't do this, I'll be this, you know what I mean? Like, he was really selling himself, because he didn't want to end up homeless. So it's definitely an issue. And I also know foster parents, and they know it's an issue. So I already have some connections, of people who wanted to take part in something like this.
Okay. All right. Thank all of you for your responses.
Just to add on that, I actually, many years ago, met a young man who had just aged out, and he was on the street asking me to buy him food. And he didn't seem like the regular panhandler beggar type. I said, "Why is this young man asking me for food? He seems like he's really hungry." So I bought him a pizza, and I was having a conversation with him, and he was exactly the demographic that she's mentioning. He had just turned, I forgot what it was, 17 or 18, I can't remember the age. And he was bouncing between foster care. He had suffering from mental illness, most likely from PTSD and, just neglect and things of that sort. And he just literally, once he aged out, they just threw him on the street. And what was so sad is, not only clearly he had some psychological and mental issues or challenges that he's dealing with, he was telling me, oh, I wish I can go to school. I just want to enroll in college. How do I do that? How do I get funding? And he's running around with a knapsack full of his stuff, homeless. And it was just like, it was sad. So it's a huge problem. There's a lot of politics, the city. The skeptic in me isn't sure how you solve that problem, because like how do you fix that? Who's going to pay for that? So I'm going to say this to all the contestants, because many of the ideas do have this sort of not-for-profit underlie. Some of the ideas. There's a concept, I think I mentioned last time we did judging. They're called social impact bonds. I don't know if you've heard them before. Social impact bonds is a way where funding can be obtained to help fund these type of endeavors through the financial markets, the private markets, for the sake of helping social issues. So I know New York City did like a round of social impact bonds, I think with Goldman Sachs. It wasn't a lot, but I remember looking into it and looking at the companies that were receiving the funding. And, I wasn't particularly impressed with what they funded. And I feel like something like this, or autism, for example, kids aging out, foster care, homelessness, things where you literally, that young man I met many years ago, he just needed an intervention. I told him about The Door. I think it's called The Door. So I had told him, I think at the time we had cell phones. I don't remember. Not how long ago that was. I think I was able to reference it or give him an address or something and say, you need to go here, because this company helps with your demographic. But there's a lot of people that just need intervention. And I just think there's a lack of resource and connection or outreach. And that's a way where you could take your idea, take your what you're looking to do, and partner with an investment bank and try to get some funding for the city, and make things like that happen. So I just want to share that idea of social impact bonds, because that's a big thing that has been swirling around as far as financing not-for-profits.
Okay, I just want to go over a lot of the comments on the chat, just so I have seen a lot of supportive comments saying that I love your idea, good business idea. Why don't we ask for more government funds to extend library hours, which Sakia mentioned about it, and try to keep them open on Sundays too, so we could use their space and infrastructure. Also, we could sign a deal with the city. There's more comments, supported comments like great idea. This Lena also mentioned responding to Penelope, saying that great idea. You could contract as a provider with the state DOL for their OPWDD department. Iriana said, I like all ideas, actually, great job. Lena mentioned the pre-standardized containers. I think that's for Elizabeth. There's also more supportive comments saying great idea. Sohar spoke about, I think SODOC does that, and I think that comment was for Penelope. And they say, I like the idea of specialized SODOC that focuses on autism services. You could get a more targeted niche. They mentioned good idea. Yeah, I agree. You could be SODOC since they aren't specialized, and that's for Penelope's idea. Penelope did answer more in detail, explaining the Spectrum Resources, which is a non-profit cooperation that focuses on helping parents of children within the autism spectrum to access evaluations and services. Their mission is to advocate for solutions that address the needs of people with autism and their families at all stages of life and across the autism spectrum. They achieve this by promoting early childhood screening and prompt intervention, as well as by providing advocacy and mental health support. On the other hand, SODOC is a for-profit healthcare technology company that offers an online platform to help patients find and book appointments with healthcare providers. SOCDOC offers services across a wide range of medical specialists, and has a large network of healthcare providers. Sahar says, I like the energy. Seems like you did your research. So good job, Penelope. And a lot of people were talking about the door. I was also a door member, so I'm very, very knowledgeable about the door services. Kelly says it's okay. They need to, oh, sorry. Then it says offering free shipping can be a key to break down competition. And I read all the comments. Is there any other questions, or will the judges be going to the break rooms?
I think in the interest of time, we should ask the judges to deliberate. The event was set to end at 8. I'm hoping everyone can stay on for a few moments longer. If the judges can maybe keep their deliberations to under 5 minutes, I know that that's a bit tough, and then come back, and we'd like to announce the winners tonight. That would be much appreciated.
No problem. And I will go, as the judges discuss, I will go over the prices really quickly.
All right, I'm gonna open the breakout rooms then.
Okay, again, thank you all to all contestants who participated and shared their big business ideas. You all did a wonderful job. The top 3 competitors will be awarded the following. First winner will receive B headphones. Second winner will receive a $25 gift card and CUNY merchandise. And third winner will receive CUNY merchandise. Please make sure to email Parsh to claim your gifts. After the presentation, Parsh email is parsham.lal@cuny.edu. Parsh, if you don't mind, please put your email on the chat.
John.
Thank you. And then also our next upcoming event is our hybrid student professional mixer event on May 11 at 6:30 p.m. Please make sure to look for the flyer and register. Our flyers are always posted on Instagram, and you are welcome to follow us at CUNY MELO. So that is CUNYMELO, CUNY MELO. And we will wait for I could read the last page, the last slide, right, Ms. Barca?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Because after the judges come back, they're gonna announce the winners. So of course, I want everyone to give thumbs up, applause, and kudos to all the contestants who had participated today and took the courage to present these great ideas. If you have any questions, suggestions, or want to know more about MELO, please reach us at melo@sps.cuny.edu or follow us on Instagram, CUNY MELO. We hope this event was very informative and has captured many of your interests to join us. And please don't forget to join us on our next event on May 11 at 6:30. And for, again, another reminder for our winners, contact Parsh to claim your prizes. And yes, we'll see who are the winners for tonight.
I just wanted to know how proud I am of all of you. It does take courage, and I know it takes time and research to develop the idea and to get all the information together. And I hope that you continue developing your ideas, and definitely reach out to your faculty members, with questions, or if you're struggling with something in the business model, that's why we are here. If you ever have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me. My door is always open. And I can always connect you to a specialist in the area who's a member of our faculty. And I really do encourage you to attend our networking event on May 11th. It's going to be a great opportunity to meet with fellow students. We're also going to have breakout rooms where we're going to kind of rotate students throughout breakout rooms to talk to faculty members, alumni, and organizational representatives. So I hope to see you there. We were planning on doing an in-person event, but it didn't exactly pan out. And we made the decision, because our programs are fully online, we wanted to maximize the online opportunities for our students. So we might have something in person or maybe a hybrid in the future. But for this time around, it will be on Zoom, and we look forward to seeing you.
So I correct myself, it's online. I apologize.
Yeah, decided to switch it to fully online. Yeah. We were going to do kind of a hybrid, but we didn't want people to feel disconnected who were on Zoom and it was just a little bit more difficult logistically to do that this time around. So this will be our first networking event. And then in the future, we'll pan out to do more of a hybrid. Yeah. I also put in our student forum. I think you should all be receiving my emails from the student forum. I hope you are. And if you're not, please email me and let me know, and we'll make sure to get you added to our student forum. But tomorrow, they're hosting the last session of their first generation CUNY student series, where you can go and listen to the stories of current faculty members who were CUNY students. So that's a great opportunity. If you didn't get that email from me, please email me and let me know. I'll drop my email in the chat now.
I didn't get that email, Professor Barco.
Because you're not an active student.
Oh.
I'll send it to you. I don't know if you can though. I'll send it to you, Nina.
Thank you.
Sure.
She's the most active, non-active student I've ever known.
I know, right? Thank you.
Bye.
I was getting kind of nervous because my baby Constance, she just turned 3 months today, and she's crying, and I was telling Parch, I'm like, Parch, I'm about to get the baby because she's going off. I could hear her, but now she's calmed down, so I'm okay.
You know, Scott, you should ask if anyone's interested in the positions now that they've seen what we do.
Oh, yes, definitely. If anybody is interested, sorry, I went to the wrong slide. Are interested in any other positions, you're more than welcome to email us.
Actually, Nina, we have 3 emails that came in right now about the MELO. They want to join. I think 5. Wow.
Really? I cannot
We
even
have
see the
5
is it the
signups. I think
chat?
it's all you guys, right? I got 5 signups right now. Notification. I'm like, why is my email blowing up? It's responding to join.
Oh, you see, because we're doing such a great job. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But also I wanted to mention not only about the vacant positions, but for those that did participate today with their ideas, you're more than welcome to return in the next ideation fair if you decide to to structure your idea stronger to participate. You're always more welcome. And then I feel that everybody, no matter who will be the winners for tonight, everybody is a winner. Okay.
Thank you, Nina.
Yeah.
And I do want to mention too, the judges have a very strict rubric that they're following based on the categories that were presented. So in the future, if you want to present an idea again, really take a look at that rubric. It's like in the classroom, when we want to know what is expected before the assignment is submitted. So if you maybe veered off away from that rubric or those specific categories, that may be why. But we do have an assessment rubric that we use.
Yeah, we didn't share it with the contestants though.
Yeah, and we decided not to. And I think that because we want to kind of give everyone the broad categories and then see what everyone brings to the table, and I think that's kind of part of being a great entrepreneur, is being able to take these broad categories and then drill down. So it is a learning exercise in and of itself. But the judges, and also at the end, if you have questions or if you want more detailed feedback from the judges, they're happy to provide that for you. So let us know for sure.
I would like to say that I was the idea about the comparison with the ZocDoc, yes. That was a good comparison, because in my mind, I did say to myself, for my business, I would be some type of intermediary. So that's a good example of, for some reason in my mind, I was thinking like a dating site. It would be something like a dating site, but it's the same idea. So the ZocDoc example is much better than the dating site example. So thank you for whoever shared that in the chat.
And I think that's part, developing these ideas, a great place to start, and it seems very basic. Do a SWOT analysis, do a basic SWOT to really outline those strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then, broaden out from there to really get into scalability, price, profitability, all of that. But if you have that as a base and you have your mission, your vision, your values, have those core things kind of set and established and build from there, I think that that's a good strategy when thinking about new business ideas.
Harsh, if you don't mind, can you share, and I don't know if Professor Barca knows the emails by memory, just in case the contestants want to follow up with the judges?
Sure. You want their emails?
Yeah, if you could share their emails.
All right, give me 1 second. All right, here is Carlos's email.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And Kelly, it got me thinking when you were asking about the master's program. It hasn't been formally announced yet, but beginning in fall of 23, the Advanced Certificate in Management program that currently is housed in a different program within SPS is moving into our programs, the online business programs. So if you're not fully comfortable committing to the master's program yet, you can enroll in the Advanced Certificate in Management to take a few graduate level courses and test it out and see if you like it and see if you can handle it. Feel free to email me if you have any questions or want more information about that. But the Advanced Certificate in Management program is coming to us beginning in the fall. So that may be a nice way for you to, test the waters in a graduate level course. I have full faith in you, Kelly, you know that. But if you don't want to fully commit to the full master's program yet, that is an option. The only issue with the Advanced Certificate in Management program is that it's not covered by financial aid. So that's a deterrent because it's a certificate program. But it's a nice way to maybe take a course or two.
And you're saying it would be transferable to the master's?
Yes, all the courses that you take in the Advanced Certificate in Management would move over to the master's if you enrolled to our Master of Science in Business Management and Leadership. Oh, and Irina's saying she has it. Yeah, great.
Nice.
Very good.
That's why I like these sessions, because we're always so busy trying to get things done. So sometimes I like the little downtime to, learn something and fellowship with each other and stuff.
There's a burger. Do you want to go check on the judges to see if they?
I was about to say the same thing. I'm like, it's been 5 minutes, Professor Barca.
It's probably really tough.
I'm gonna put you in the breakout
room right now. Yeah, I still have the link. I'll go.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Yeah, so guys, I know we're, since we're, well, not every, I know some of us suspect, just came to like support. But for those of us who may be in different programs, not all of us are in business programs. I'm in the HRL program. So, but I will be moving over to the business for the master's program. And there are some prereqs. So if there is anyone on this Zoom who plans to transfer to the business masters, just keep in mind for your electives, if you have freedom in electives, take a look at the prereqs, and you can make those. You can take care of those during your BA or BS programs, and so I think there's like 3. I think there's like 3 of them.
It seems like the judges have returned. We just waiting for Professor Barca because she did want to check on you.
I'm here.
There
I'm
she
here.
goes.
Okay,
I'm
she's
here.
back. She's back. Okay, we are ready.
Okay, thank you all. Welcome back. After considerable deliberation, first of all, we all, on behalf of everybody, we'd like to say these were all wonderful presentations. And it's readily viewable, the inspirations that came about to come up with your presentations. So in terms of the announcements, we'll start off with the third place prize goes to Zakia with the Far Rockaway, and we loved your style of presentation. We think you're on the ball with that. Especially, I particularly like the tagline that you came up with: "Starbucks without the coffee." In the second place is Elizabeth with the pantry full. We thought you had a very viable business. And by the way, we're all open to feedback. If you guys want to ask for comments or questions later on via email. And first prize goes to Penelope with the idea for a spectrum.
Thank you so much for loving my idea.
Yes. And I'm going to throw it back to Anina.
Congratulations, everyone. Yay. I am
Thank
so
you.
happy for all of you. I did mention the prices. I did spoke about the reminder of our networking event, which is virtually, not hybrid. I apologize. And again, let's give an applause, thumbs up, and kudos to all the contestants who participated today and took the courage to present these great ideas. If you have any questions, please email us at melo@sps.cuny.edu or follow us in CUNY in Instagram, CUNY MELO. We hope this event was very informative and has captured many of your interests to join us. Please don't forget to claim your prizes by emailing Parsh. Parsh did put his email in the chat. And furthermore, if there's no more questions, thank you all for joining us and good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank
Night.
you.
Thank you.
Good night.